Question 5.5. Determine the values of x for which our graph f of x, which was our original graph we're now dealing with, not g of x, is greater or equal than -3. Emphasis on greater or equal. Okay, so what is this asking us? This is exactly the same as saying if we had a quadratic function, that is horrendous, quadratic function like this, and we had a value here, let's say it was 2 and this was 1. Let's say, for example, the question asked us for what values of x will z of x, our quadratic function, be greater than 2. Well, if we knew the x value here, we could say for all values bigger or equal to 1, z of x will be greater or equal to 2. That's the exact same thing we're trying to show here. What makes this a little bit trickier is that we're now dealing with a log graph. And in this case, I'm going to reproduce it here. We have a log graph that looks like so. That's poor. That's all right. Just to show that this straightens out like that. There we go, that's better. So we now want for what values of f of x will our graph be greater or equal to -3. So we could say, let's say our -3 was over here. We want to show for what values of x will our y values be greater than -3. All right. So we need to basically find where is this graph equal to -3 on our x-axis. So this is a simple plug in what you know to your log graph and solve for the variable you're trying to find. And our log graph was log base 3 x equal to y. So we know our y value, that will be -3. We know our base, and we want to find the x value. Just like I explained in the other question, we are going to do the inverse of log now to find x, just like we would do the inverse of divide to bring the 3 onto the other side. We would times it by 3 on both sides. We're doing the same principle here. We're solving our equation. So let's set up our log graph into an exponential because we know that's the inverse of the log. So our exponential graph will look like so. Our base was 3. Our answer was -3. And our x value was our answer. Let me just make sure of that. 3. Yes, correct. X was our answer. So we just, what's that? 3 to the -3. That will be the same as 1 to the over 3 to the 3. Because remember, you can bring your -3 exponent and make it into a division expression. So that will be x equal to 1 over 27, if I'm correct. All right, so what we've shown now is that at this point over here, x is 1 over 27 and y is -3. So if we want all the values greater than -3, we just need to say, okay, look at our graph. It's greater than -3 throughout, as long as our x value is bigger than 1 over 27. So we can say, all right, therefore, x needs to be greater than 1 over 27. But hang on, remember we wanted greater or equal to -3, so we can include our value 1 over 27. And that is the problem solved.